Hey, what's good, y'all? Back at you with another video. It's your man, Druuill. What I want to discuss today is being afraid will hold you back and prolong you from what you expect to get out of life. It paralyzes the greatness in you. If you don't want the greatness in you to be paralyzed, you're going to have to eject fear from your mind. You're going to have to not think patterns of fear. You're going to have to think patterns of courage, okay? When you don't want to be a loser in life, because what fear is going to do by default, fear is going to make you a loser because you're going to be afraid to try this. You're going to be afraid to try that. You're going to be afraid to do what God called you to do. And that's going to make you a loser because you're going to end up doing things that are going to take up your time in negative ways. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. I've been there. I told myself I didn't want to be a loser. There were times when I woke up in the morning and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm a loser. But you know what? I said, it's something. I would just stop myself because I would realize I'm like, this can't be something good that I'm telling myself. And then when I figured, I'm like, I cannot be the only person waking up in the morning telling themselves that all that, like playing this negative radio tape or just tape cassette player back in your head. I can't be the only one. So what I figured is, I'm like, there have to be other people who are waking up in the morning and not telling themselves the best thing as soon as they wake up. So what I did was I started telling myself better things. I started telling myself that I wasn't afraid. I started telling myself that I'm not going to hold myself back anymore. I'm not going to let fear hold me back anymore. All right. I expect to not be paralyzed by fear. I expect to be able to go after what I want in life with total courage and no fear, not being afraid of what this person may say, not being afraid of what this person may think, not being afraid of how somebody's going to judge me because of how I do my thing. Somebody's always going to have something to say. Let them say it. Usually the people that have most things to say are usually the people that have the least things to do. They're always watching somebody. They're always commenting on someone because they wish they had the heart to go out and do what those successful people are doing, trying something new, trying to be great, stepping out on a leap of faith, stepping into their calling. Not everybody has the courage to do that. Not everybody has the courage to get up and be like, I'm going to do what I like to do. I'm going to make a career out of what I love to do. I'm going to take what I love to do and turn it into a business. Not everybody has the courage to do that. You have to be brave to take an idea and act on it. That takes bravery. Some people are literally paralyzed by fear. They let the fear stop them for years, decades. Some people won't act because of fear. They won't go out, make their dream happen, take a chance on life because they're afraid. All the things that won't happen, they think about that. They think about what's going to go wrong. All the things that could go wrong, that's what they're focused on. They're focused on how they can't make it. They're focused on what they're not going to do right, instead of all those positive things, instead of the opposite of all that, what can go right, what is going to work out, how you are going to make things happen for the better. That's what you need to be focused on. And when you're not afraid, when you don't have thoughts of fear, you have a whole lot more space in your mind for other thoughts to come. Creative thoughts, money-making thoughts, loving thoughts, courageous thoughts, thoughts of courage, thoughts of happiness, thoughts of joy, peace, prosperity. You have so much more room in your mind when you clear out the negative space, when you clear out fear. Fear takes a large portion of your mind. It takes over your mind. When you respond to things in a fearful way, instead of responding to things in a way where you're not afraid. When you are dealing with something that makes you afraid, look at it as making you as afraid as you could possibly be. Feel that fear. This is just an exercise. Do this right now. Think, or you can do it after the video. Whatever makes you most afraid, whatever you're most afraid of when it comes to you, your goals, your dreams, or anything in life. Picture yourself doing that. Picture yourself being afraid as you could possibly be and still doing it. And that way, when you actually go to do it in real life, in reality, after you just made that visualization, you're not going to be as afraid. Because in your mind, like I always say, your mind's not going to be able to tell whether that was real or whether that happened in your mind. So when you do things in your mind, your brain and your body takes it as real, perceives it as that being a real event. So with that being taken as a real event, now when you actually have to do something out in the real world that caused you to be not courageous, caused you to have fear, now you're not going to be as afraid, or you're not even going to be afraid at all. You're going to do it, and you're going to be brave. And another thing you could do is you could see yourself being brave, doing things after you practice the exercise where you see yourself being afraid as you could possibly be. You're going to see that that fear is not real. So now, after you see that that fear is not real, after you see that it was illusion, false evidence appearing real, okay? Now that you realize that it's false evidence appearing real, right? You still focus on being courageous, and you still do what you need to do anyway. Now you visualize yourself being courageous. Now you visualize yourself having courage. You visualize yourself doing things with courage, being as courageous as you could be, because the courage is real. Fear is not. It's a fact that you could be afraid, but being fearful, that's not the true state of you. God didn't create you to be afraid. God gave you the spirit of courage and of a sound mind. So fear, that's just a feeling that's not real. It's an illusion. It's something that you have to tell to leave. It's a spirit and it's a psychic entity. And what you have to do is you have to tell it, you say, you know what, fear? You can't be here. You can't be here. You can't suck me of my energy. Pause. You can't take all my life force away. You can't use me and take my energy from me and make me afraid. Fear, you have to leave. I won't allow you to enter my body and to wreak havoc on my mind. You can't stay here. You have to go. And once you start talking to the fear like that, once you start treating fear like it's unwanted, once you start treating fear like somebody that you don't want to come around, and you get angry once it comes around and you act on it, and you start talking to it and you start dealing with that fear, you're gonna become mobile. You're not gonna be immobilized by fear anymore. Now you're gonna be mobilized with courage. So be encouraged, and make sure that whenever you have any type of fear, you deal with it, and you still go out and do what you need to do, so that you can make your life a reality. You can create the dream that you want, because you don't want to be paralyzed by fear. You don't want to be paralyzed by the fear of failing, the fear of people's opinion, the fear of it not working out. Those are all things that may happen, but those are things that you don't let stop you. Those are things that you just accept as a part of success, as a part of going out on faith, as a part of taking a chance on you, and you still go out and do what you need to do anyway. You never let those things stop you. Those things have everybody has dealt with those things on their path to success. But what you do is you don't let any of those things get in your way, because if you do, you'll never make it. So I want to thank you for watching this video. I want to thank you for hitting that like button, hitting that share button, and hitting that subscribe button. And we're going to keep kicking fear out of our mind, out of our life, out of our spirit. And we're going to keep living in the spirit of courage and having a sound mind, because God, that's what God created us to do. That's how God created us to live. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. All right.